Hi, my name's Amanda. I am a coach and a channel, and I'm really excited for what you're about to see. I have a brand new offering called a higher self reading. And what this is an opportunity for you to come face to face with your higher self and ask them anything and everything that you want. The way it works is that I trance-channel them. I invite your soul's essence into my physical body and I bring them through so that you can have a face-to-face interaction with them and ask them anything and everything that you want. Getting clarity on next steps, on an area of your life where you're feeling stuck or challenged, or if you just want to understand yourself better and what your potential truly looks like with the help of someone that can tap into your unconscious as well as have a higher perspective about who you really are and what's truly available for you. This is not a future predictions reading. This is not an opportunity for you to find out what the future holds. This is an opportunity for you to be challenged, to fully see yourself in a new way and open your eyes to ways of looking at yourself, the world around you, and what's possible for you in a way that you might not be able to otherwise. So what you're about to see is an entire higher self reading so that you can get a taste of what that looks and feels like. And if this is something that you would like to experience for yourself, you're welcome to go to my website and check out the offers that I have there for you and reach out to me with any questions. Please enjoy this. It's very exciting. I'm so happy about being able to finally offer this, and I would love to know your thoughts.
Hello.
Hello.
I know that you have some questions for me today, and I'm so thrilled to get an opportunity to speak with you because I know that this is a very unique situation, and we are in some capacity speaking to one another, same soul resonance. And I think that this will be very informative for you. And I am so looking forward to not only giving you information that you don't have access to, but information that is deep down inside of you that when you are ready to hear will feel resonant for you.
I'm so excited.
You may
I need the
begin whenever you
answers.
wish to.
Okay. Okay. Um, I want to start with the realm of romantic relationships because that feels very relevant and present in my life right now. And also just very synchronistic and funny. So, I think my first question is, um, okay, I'll say what I'm thinking and then maybe it'll form a question because it's not a formulated question yet. But I feel like I am going back and forth on what I want a lot. And it's kind of disturbing me a bit because I know that me going back and forth between what I want not only affects me, but is also directly affecting people that I care about in a way that might be hurtful to them. And so I'm wondering if there is a purpose to me going back and forth and it's intentional, or if the me going back and forth on what I want is more so me being lost in other people's energy and not being clear on what it is that I actually want.
You are not going back and forth on what you want. You are very clear on what you want. It just has not been presented to you yet in the way that you wish to receive it. And so the reason why you are going back and forth is because you are trying to determine where the resonance is when you are not seeing it there in front of you. And so the back and forth that you are partaking in is more you trying to figure out how you can find what you are really looking for when it is not really there in the way that you would like it to be. Does that make sense?
It sort of does. I think I need it said another way.
There are people in your life at this time who are filling up space for you in a way that is enjoyable. However,
Mm-hmm.
there are aspects of their energy that do not resonate for you entirely. And so you are, on the one hand, enjoying their company because they are there in your space. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, there's a part of you that knows that it is not fully what what is in alignment with what you deeply desire. And so this is the part of you that is feeling torn between what do I do? Where do I go? How do I feel? And it is the part of you that is feeling this way that is creating this back and forth momentum that you are experiencing. And so the message
Mm-hmm.
that I would have for you in terms of this situation is to really tune in and ask yourself, what is not being fulfilled within me, within these relationships that are currently in my life at this time? And once you are clear on that, you will know where to find it. And when it appears in front of you, it will be very apparent that this has been the missing link. This has been the missing piece that I have been searching for. And that is why these other relationships did not feel 100% resonant for me. And this is why I felt so torn between the two. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is not to say that you must walk away from the current situation, but I would like to encourage you to take some time and reflect upon what is not feeling fulfilled in its entirety for you within it. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense and very accurate. Um, yeah, I think that I question because it's true I do feel unfulfilled by each of these two people separately, and I think that I have been second guessing myself on that a lot because I know that my default pattern is more of avoidance and looking for perfection in a romantic partner, which is not necessarily rooted in something that is healthy or aligned. And so I constantly question, and maybe this is a question that you can help me gain clarity on, is it actually that these people aren't fulfilling what I need, or is it that I'm looking for evidence to support my already belief that they won't fulfill what I need
First, I
and
would
want?
like to reflect back to you that you are not in patterns of avoidance. That is
Okay.
actually not 100% accurate. What happens for you is that when you do not feel comfortable in a relationship with somebody, it is your go-to to turn within and figure out what they need from you and how you can fulfill that within yourself, and then in turn reflect that outwardly. And so it is not necessarily an avoidance pattern. It is a way for you to figure out what do they need from me and how can I fulfill that for them. And so rather than using the word avoidant, I would prefer that you pick something else, some other term that feels a little bit more empowered for you, where perhaps it is a way for you to better serve the person in front of you rather than be an avoidance of them. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it is not something to be in opposition with necessarily, but I would like to reframe this for you because I feel that it is something that you sometimes hold judgment or resentment around within
Yeah.
yourself. And it is really a pattern of great ability to feel compassion for other people and this desire to fulfill something within them that you might feel is lacking within yourself, but also that you see is lacking within them as well. And so you are, in a way, serving both you and them at the same time by doing this. And this is something that you will learn how to manage so that it is not something that gets in the way per se. Um, Indefinitely, but I would really love for you to begin to see this in a new way where it is a pattern that is born from a place of deep desire to serve um and give yourself and others what you know deep down they need. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And as far as your other question goes, may you ask it one more time?
Yeah. Is it really that either of these men, that there is something in them that's lacking, that almost like me internally or my soul is saying this isn't fully what I want, or if I were to choose this I would be settling? Because there is a part of me that thinks that, but then I counter argue that with, no, I'm just being too perfectionistic and I'm looking for flaws and I'm looking for reasons to push them away and I'm looking for reasons to justify to keep me safe. I think a lot of the reason why is because I've watched my parents settle for so long. I'm so terrified of being in a similar relationship that anything that feels less than perfect feels really scary. And so I don't know if I'm looking for perfection in an unrealistic way or if it's just genuinely not aligned.
I would like to answer this question in several ways. One, these people are not lacking in anything. They are simply
Mm,
not resonant for you. And I think that
Yeah.
this is what you are picking up on. And so it is not so much that you are seeking perfection, but you are seeking resonance. And I think that there is a very big difference between the two. And you will find a partner who will not be perfect because perfection does not exist. And so you will find a partner that feels on some level resonant for you. And it is simply that you have not found that person yet. And I would like to encourage you to continue searching within yourself to understand what that might look and feel like for you. And I would like to encourage you and to offer you that when it appears in your life, you will see it and you will know it immediately. And that does
Mm-hmm.
not mean that you must walk away from the current relationships that are in front of you, but I would encourage you to explore them for yourself to really understand what it is that is not feeling 100% right to you, because there is wisdom in that and there's information in that for you. And so it is not so much that you are seeking for things that are not perfect or that you are giving yourself reasons to walk away. It is that deep down you know that it is not the right fit for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
It's interesting.
I would like to add one more thing to this. I really
Yeah.
encourage you to follow your own wisdom with this. And if this does not feel like this information is pertinent for you at this time or is something that you want to follow at this time, I encourage you to follow your own wisdom in this path because you will find that your wisdom will serve you well. It has yet to disappoint you. It is
Yeah.
always when you listen to it and when you really give yourself permission to access it, follow it, and trust it, it always leads you in the direction that you desire to go. And so I encourage you to take it slow, have fun, and explore the relationships that are in front of you without putting so much pressure on yourself to understand them, figure them out, or control them in any which way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so interesting to hear you say that when this person that resonates with me appears into my life, I will know immediately because it's always something that I felt like with these two people, I did not know immediately. It was kind of like a slow burn for me, which was a reason why I kind of didn't want to entertain the relationships because I'm like, well, if I wasn't like fully a yes with them right away, then it's because there isn't a resonance or there isn't something there. But then I would counter argue with myself on that and see that as, well, maybe that's not a healthy way of looking at things. And maybe it's not, it doesn't need to be like an immediate yes with someone. And so I've been questioning and doubting myself on that a lot. I don't know if you have any wisdom on that.
You question and doubt yourself a lot, don't you?
So much.
I think that you're very much in your head more than you give yourself credit for. And perhaps it is this notion that you feel like you must understand things and understand how they work and what is within your best interest from a logical perspective that might be getting in your way a little bit from enjoying the experience as it is in front of you. And I would highly encourage you to drop into your body a little bit more when you are around these people and allow your body to speak to you because this is where your wisdom really lies. And I have a feeling that it is your mind that is tripping you up and getting in your way from time to time where you are trying to figure things out. What is the right path for me? What is the right choice for me? How do I know if this is what it is meant to be or not? Am I making the right choice? And it just
Mm-hmm.
gets you caught up in a loop per se. And I would highly encourage you to let a lot of those stories go and allow the experience to be what it is. And if the experience is one that is enjoyable for you in the moment, even if it does not feel 100% right per se, that does not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean that it is not for you at this time.
Yeah.
Can you allow a relationship to be what it is and serve you in the moment that it's meant to without needing for it to be any which way or without feeling the need to walk away knowing that it might not be a forever situation for you
Mm-hmm.
or that you must understand it in its entirety while it's playing out in
Yeah.
front of you?
I think my default a little bit more recently has been to want to lead into the relationships, even though, or lead into any relationships, even if I have a deeper knowing that it's not forever. And that feels okay with me. And I know with one of these people in particular, um, he is expressing a lot of hurt around the situation and the dynamic that we're in. And it seems as though the longer I take to come to a decision, the more he hurts and the more he suffers, because he really does not like being in this place with me where I'm contemplating seeing someone else and getting to know someone else and haven't fully chosen him. And it's activating a lot of his insecurities and things that we have been talking about a lot. And although I know that there is purpose and healing to it for him, at the same time, I don't know if, like, I don't know, I feel this pressure within me to make a decision sooner rather than later because it is hurting him a lot.
I would like to reflect back to you that you have already made your choice and you have stated what this decision is. And his experience of you and his experience of this relationship is his to work through. And so if we were to focus on you and what you are getting out of this experience with him, what is he here to teach you? How is he here to guide you? And what can you take from this experience with him? And I would rather that you focus on that for yourself and your own growth throughout this path, because his hurt is his to hold, and it is not necessarily for you to give or take from him.
Yeah. Okay. um, I don't feel anything else related to the relationships right now, but something else might come up. But I would like to move on to business stuff, if that's okay. So, again, I don't know off the top of my head any questions, but I guess, yeah, my business has always been so inconsistent and up and down. And with the highs comes this deeper sense of security and trust in myself and in life and in my business. And then with the lows, it's chaotic internally. And I know that there's purpose to that, and it's allowed me to release a lot and to shed a lot of my own fears and insecurities and feel more secure within myself with each consecutive round of the highs and lows that I get to. I guess I'm just wondering, when can I have some consistency with my business growth and actually like not have to worry about things falling apart anymore?
I would like to offer a perspective to you that might be one that may not have thought of previously, and that is that your business is an energetic entity all of itself, and it is an energetic entity that you have created. So in that way, it is an extension of you, and an extension of your energy. And therefore, the chaos that you are feeling within your business is just a chaos that you are feeling within yourself that you are then projecting out onto your business. And so, what I would like to reflect back to you in terms of this relationship that you have with your business is how can you find the peace that you desire within your business, within yourself first?
Hmm. How can I find the peace that I desire within my business, within myself first? Whenever my business goes away, or thoughts about my business going away, I guess, or when things start to take a downturn, it feels like my my ability to have the things that I want and to feel the things that I want in my life are going away with it.
And is that the reality or is that your interpretation of it?
Logically, it makes sense, but it is still my interpretation of it. I don't
And
know for sure.
I would love for you to see your business as your greatest teacher. It is of your own creation, but it is also there to guide you in a way towards what you want. And what you want is not necessarily a successful business. What you want is to feel like a successful business owner. You see this. And so they are not necessarily one and the same, but they are separate if you allow them to be. And so how can you feel like a successful business owner regardless of what is happening within your business? And if you are feeling like a successful business owner regardless of the outcomes within your business, then your business will change as a byproduct. And I know that this is challenging for the human mind to comprehend that how can I simply feel something within myself and then externally to me, that is how it will manifest. But if you look back over the course of the years that you have been an entrepreneur, has it not been that
Yeah,
way?
yeah,
And I understand that you have the ability to receive this because this is not only what you are here to reflect to others, but for you to learn within yourself, which is that you are a very powerful creator, not simply of what lies outside of you, but what you are able to create within yourself. And so you are being asked and guided and led to do just that, is to understand the power that you truly hold in this lifetime, which is to create the experience that you desire to have. And through creating that experience internally, what will that then be reflected back to you externally and how that is manifested physically in the world around you? And
Mm-hmm.
this is a very, I would like to say it this way, it is not a way of being that most people will identify with, because most people are not having the experience in this lifetime that you are having, which is one of a greater level of conscious awareness around who you are, what you are, and why you are here. And therefore, you are being guided and led in this way so that you can better understand yourself on a much more conscious level. And in doing so, project that to those around you, teach them and inspire them to be and do the same as you. And so the real work for you really lies in creating your internal experience and trusting how that will then be reflected back to you externally. And that does not mean that it won't require taking action, but the action that you take will be very different and coming from a different place. And so what will be created as a byproduct will be different, and your business
Mm-hmm.
will reflect that right back to you. Do you see this?
Yeah, and I've seen it happen many times.
And so my question then for you is, where does the lack of trust really come from?
Um, I guess fear of what will happen if I'm wrong.
And what would happen if you were wrong?
I'll be miserable.
Is that true? Or can you create a different experience regardless?
I can create a different experience regardless.
Do you see where your power truly lies then?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that this is still very scary, because there is a part of you that is still attached to the outcome. And this is what you are being asked to let go of. Do you see this? And when
Yeah.
you can do this, you expand to a greater degree from the version of you that currently exists now. And this is what you truly desire for yourself on a soul level. And I am not pushing you in one way or another. I am simply reflecting back to you the truth of who and what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And with that information, you can do with it what you will.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add one more thing to this, because I sense that there is a little bit of distress with this message, and that is that would I guide my own soul in a way that would lead to a direction that would not be in service to you?
Mm.
It
And
would not
I,
be in my best interest to lead you astray, my love.
mm,
And what I'm asking for you to do requires a large degree of trust in me as well as you. And that is simply part of your journey, and that will come in time. But I would like you to know that you are meant for far more than this business will ever give you.
mhm,
And how can you anchor into that, in the reality that is that this life carries much more for you than simply the clients who are coming to you at this time. And if you allow yourself to feel the possibility and potential that lies in front of you beyond your business, you will begin to see it. You will begin to access it, and you will desire to move in that direction. And I am not saying that you would be moving away from your business, but I am simply offering that perhaps your business will evolve as you do,
mhm,
and allow for that to be okay and also take form in whatever way it desires to.
mhm. Yeah.
You have created a life for yourself that many are in envy of, and I don't even know if that is something that you truly comprehend or realize. And you are a walking demonstration of the power of potential. within this lifetime. And I would love for you to continue harnessing that knowing that you have been carrying deep within you that has guided you to where you are now, and that you have experienced many ups and downs, but they have all been in service to you. And in with those ups and downs, you have created the life that lies before you and ahead of you, and it will continue to guide you in new and profound ways. And to release your control and your need to predict what that might look like, because it is that very desire and notion that is creating the discomfort that you are experiencing. And when you can let go of the fear of what may come to pass, you will realize that there really is nothing to fear ahead of you. There are simply things to fear that have been already experienced, that you have left behind you. And if you have experienced it before and gotten through it, then you can experience it again and get through it perhaps in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Give yourself a moment to take that in and reflect on it. And I am
Yeah.
here to answer whatever follow-up questions you might have.
Thank you. So this is just out of my own excitement and curiosity is what else is there for me beyond this business?
Literally
Can I ask my
anything that you
yes?
desire.
Okay.
I would
Yeah.
encourage you to start contemplating what calls to you. And if there are things outside of this business that call to you, that you have not given yourself permission to look at before, because you have been so focused on this business that is not always there to support you in the way you would like it to.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is time to look beyond it and to see, okay, what else is out there for me? Where can I take my gifts and create more than I have created in the past? How can I expand on a personal level? And then expand the work that I'm doing to reflect that. And so perhaps it is not necessarily the business that is not serving you, but perhaps you are no longer serving the business in the way that the business desires to be served. You have potential far beyond what you have tapped into thus far. And I would encourage you to continue to explore that for yourself and really identify why you have been hiding from that.
Can I identify why I've been hiding from it now?
Shall we explore this together?
Yeah.
What do you fear would happen if you ventured outside of the business that you have created?
The first thought is I will spread myself too thin.
You will only spread yourself thin if you spread yourself thin.
I think that I'm afraid that if I invest any of my energy and time into things outside of my business will fall apart. And then I won't have anything consistent, even less consistent than this, coming in from whatever this new adventure is.
I would like to reflect back to you that you have already invested much of your time outside of your business and been exploring the world. And that has not necessarily taken away from your business, but it has added to your life and perhaps to your business thus far. And so this belief system that you would be spreading yourself thin is the very thing that is holding you back from moving in a direction that would be new for you.
I really, really love the process of writing. And it's something that I could get lost in for hours and not get exhausted from it. And I just get so excited about the idea of being an author and having that be a part of my expression and what I'm putting out into the world. And there's something about writing in being an author in the way that I am exploring right now that feels even better than coaching.
I love that you're honest with yourself about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you fear about that?
I fear that if I were to move more into writing and as a result abandon some of the coaching side of things, if I regretted it, I wouldn't be able to turn back.
What would prevent you from turning back?
I guess I'm afraid that I'll have lost my momentum with my business because I've never been able to reliably create clients. They kind of just come from referrals. And if I lose that because I'm not working with people as much as I am, then I won't be able to turn back.
I'm going to be very direct with my answer.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the lie in this? You're saying that you have trouble creating clients, and in the same breath, you are saying that you are getting referrals and that clients come to you.
Yeah.
Is this not creation? You were saying on the one hand that your business is very up and down, and on the other hand, you are living a life of travel.
Mm-hmm.
So where is the lack really coming from, my child? Where is the distrust in yourself that your path is not guiding you where you desperately desire to go? Who's to say that you cannot backtrack anytime you desire to? Who's to say that you cannot get a second form of income to help you become the author that you desperately know that you are capable of being? Who's to say that you have to give up your coaching business in order to become an author in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to be able to do both simultaneously. And I feel like right now I'm kind of learning how to live that. I've been writing a lot and I've been working with a lot more clients recently. And this has been a really enjoyable space for me to be. And I think I'm afraid it's not going to last.
There we go. Fear that the life that you have built for yourself, fostered, created, and lived will not be the life that you can maintain.
Yeah.
I highly encourage you to explore this fear for yourself, because it is this notion that you cannot keep up with the life you have built for yourself. That may be the downfall of the life you have built for yourself. Do you see this?
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the life that you have built for yourself up until now only has the capacity to grow and change and evolve if you allow it to. And so perhaps there might be a death and rebirth of some sort, but perhaps it is not in the way that you anticipate or that you fear. How
Yeah, it
can
all
you?
feels scary.
Yeah. From your time as a professional coach, you know exactly what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would encourage you to sit with that, explore that, and really feel that. And then how can you channel that into the work that you do? What can you say about that? What can you teach about that? How can you lead with that? Perhaps it is this turning point with this relationship with your deepest fear that will birth the next part of your journey ahead.
Yeah. Fear feels like it's definitely there blocking me. But how I experience feeling blocked on a day-to-day basis is more what I would describe as overwhelm. And it just feels like time is constantly slipping from me and I'm unable to do what feels like the bare minimum a lot of the time.
This is not your fear. This is your resistance to your fear. Do you see this?
Maybe.
When you can allow the fear to be felt and be truly present within your experience, then it will no longer feel like an enemy. And the energy that is required to suppress it can be channeled into something else. How can you learn to be a master, creator of your experience? How can you allow this to be another teacher for you? What could explaining this process for you do for the books that you're writing, for the clients that you're coaching, and for whatever future endeavor you take on? Perhaps this is the beginning of the next phase of your life, my child.
Mm. So the overwhelm is my resistance to feeling the fear.
Does that resonate for you?
Yeah.
I would like to reflect back to you that there's nothing that is off limits for you in this world. You did not come here to put limitations on yourself. You came here to see past that illusion. And how can you trust that? How can you trust that you would not come into this lifetime with limitations placed upon you about what you could or could not do, what was available to you, what was possible for you?
Mm.
You came here to break through every ceiling that you are met with along your path. What is the ceiling here that you are witnessing above you that you are not perceiving that you can break through at this time? How can you unlearn what you have learned about yourself? That there are still limitations there in front of you. And that the unknown is something to be feared. You are telling me that your business has been up and down, and yet there is this new possibility in front of you that is full of unknowns. And so what you would be walking away from would be the up and downs within a business that you have been complaining about up until now.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the choice of, do I maintain the status quo and continue to live in this up and down within my business, or do I step into something new? And I don't know what that new is going to be. It could be better, it could be worse, but it will not be the same experience that I've been having.
Mm.
And if it's experience that is not desirable for you, you are telling yourself that you cannot go back. And my child, that is just not the case.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you not taking opportunities where there are some? And why are you not taking hold of them when they are presented to you?
There is this one opportunity that has made itself known to me in my mind many times, but many times recently, more than ever. And I just genuinely don't know where to begin with it. And that is, I'm sure, masking a lot of fear of being inadequate for it, or putting something on my plate that I'm not ready for.
Is this the truth, or is this the fear talking again, that you are not ready for it? I think, if I am so bold to say, that you know exactly what the first step would be. And so it is not the step that is creating the issue, it is your feeling of worth around the step that is creating the issue for you.
Mm.
Things do not come into your awareness until you are ready for them. And if this is something that is continuously knocking on your door, there's a reason for this. And whether or not the outcome is favorable to you, that is not the point. The point is that it will offer a degree of expansion that you are in desire of.
Yeah. it's something that I guess I know some small things that might move the momentum forward on it, like just researching it. The idea is more like in the realm of corporate coaching, like getting businesses to hire me to work with their employees. That is the idea that I have had. But like, I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if businesses would want that. I don't know how I could make them want it. I don't know how I could present it to them. I don't know how I could show that it's something that would benefit the company because I've never done coaching in that way before. So I can't give them my learned facts about how much it could help someone.
You are stating a lot of things that you do not have the answer to because you have not taken the time to find them yet.
Mm-hmm.
Once you sit down with pen to paper, I have no doubt about it, you will come up with all the answers to these perceived problems that are sitting in front of you at this time. And you will come up with a brilliant plan to execute. And you might be surprised with the result.
Mm.
But I
Well,
would
that's
like to
exciting.
reflect back to you that you will not have the answer to these questions until you sit down to come up with them.
Yeah.
And this is part of your role as creator, is to create the opportunity and put it into action. And I would like to reflect back to you that you have accumulated skills as a professional coach that many people do not have access to. Look at the lives that you have touched on your short time on this planet. Why are you limiting the potential that you have to touch so many more?
Mm. Yeah.
Perhaps it is a paradigm shift that you are in the works to create, where the job that doesn't exist now can only exist when you present it and start doing it. And in doing so, you will recreate a landscape for people within corporations that they did not have access to before, but would enhance the experience of their work-life balance in the process. Perhaps it is you that has the potential to create this new narrative for them, but they will only get to experience your magic if you give them an opportunity to.
Mm. That feels exciting.
As it should.
Mm-hmm.
It is untapped potential, and there is much of that within you.
Yeah. And I have some more clarity around this experience I've been having that feels like overwhelm, where I just feel like I can't get close to doing it all. And it doesn't feel like all is that much to begin with. Like I leave text messages from my best friend unread for sometimes more than a week because I just keep telling myself, I don't have the energy, I don't have the time, I can't do that right now. But then again, I'm barely working. I work less than 10 hours a week. I'm writing and, creating content and stuff, but not that much. And I don't have that much of a social life. I don't know why it feels like everything is so hard to balance.
When was the last time you allowed somebody to take care of you?
With this first man, the first one, there have been subtle experiences, like short-term little things that he has done to take care of me.
Have you fully allowed him to take on that role in your life?
No.
Perhaps what you are experiencing is a degree of burnout from feeling like you have to have control over everything in your life and that you cannot surrender yourself to somebody to allow to hold you through it.
Mm.
Perhaps you have been trying to be strong for too long. And what you really desire is safety within the arms of another. And that does not mean a romantic relationship, but that means somebody that you can trust to support you through this time in your life where you are experiencing a desire for change,
Mm.
where something new is calling to you, but it's feeling a little bit overwhelming to take it all on yourself. And yet you choose to continue to do this because there's a desire to support yourself, and I can understand this fully. There is a sense of pride within the ability to do that. But perhaps it is time to relinquish a little bit of that desire for control. Does this resonate for you?
Yes. I don't know what that could look like beyond the experience of a romantic partner.
Well, you have friendships in your life. You have friends and family members who I'm sure would not be opposed to you spending more time with them and allowing them to care for you in the way that you've been attempting to do all on your own.
I'm not even really sure what care I could get from people.
Then that is where you must begin. There are people in your life that desire to care for you, that desire to help support you, not only financially, although that is part of it. And perhaps that this has not come into your awareness before, and that is why we are meeting today, is to unload some of what you have been forcing yourself to carry alone. And with the help of another, to take some of that burden off of your back. It will free up your energy to be channeled into all of these new ideas and endeavors that you have been holding back from fully stepping into. And I think you will find that after this conversation today, inspiration and recognition will come to you. But I suggest that you just take this idea and store it in the back of your mind until you are ready to contemplate it further. And I think you will find that there has been opportunity there all along that has not been fully sourced
Mhm.
out of a discomfort of doing so.
Yeah. The person that I keep thinking of is again that same guy. And whenever I think about a future with him, and this came up when my best friend and I did a tarot card reading on these two men, is it's very much like he wants to take care of me. He loves me so unconditionally. Like it wouldn't matter how much success I was or wasn't making, he would still love me and want to be there for me and support me and give me as much space as I needed to figure out my life and what I'm doing next. And he is the first person that I think of because I feel that unconditional love from him so genuinely that I feel like that would be the easiest place for me to allow someone to take care of me. And I feel the resonance with it so much recently, where my feelings for him have been growing exponentially to my surprise, and my desire to choose him have been growing exponentially as well, because there's something about being with someone right now that would give me that support and space to just be. Feels really good for where I'm at right now. And that means if I were to choose him, abandoning this other relationship with this other person who is more like would push me to be successful and grow and strategize and to put myself out there. And that doesn't feel as resonant, even though I thought that's what I wanted for a long time in a romantic partner, was someone who could help me and support me to create success for myself. But when I'm really honest with myself right now, what I actually desire is to have someone that can care for me. And that's this first person.
It is not possible to abandon a relationship that was never there in the first place. And I encourage you to follow your intuition.
Mm. Yeah. My intuition has been saying a big no to the second guy ever since I got home to Canada, which is so weird because everything in my brain justifies that he is exactly what I've been looking for in a partner.
No. You have been looking for those things within yourself.
That's actually true. That is true.
I'm glad that you see this and that you can laugh at this.
Yeah. That's actually so accurate. I thought I wanted them in a partner because then it would rub off on me.
You, above anyone else, should know that that is not the way.
Yeah,
It is inside out, not outside in.
right. And maybe what I need to cultivate the qualities within myself that I desire to is that comfort and care and space to just be supported. Because that's what feels so delicious right now. It's just that idea of the whole thing with him is he's moving to Australia, and him and I have talked about from the beginning, like me going there with him and as having this lifestyle in Australia, and he'll have this apartment, and he's going to be making really good money when he's there. And so there's just this idea of how spacious and supportive that environment could be for me to just learn and attune myself to what's next for me without the pressure. And that feels so delicious to my entire being, other than my brain that says that that's wrong and that I shouldn't rely on him. And maybe I don't actually love him and I'm just using him. And am I using him? That's a question I have a lot.
Then there is forgiveness required. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Forgiveness at the notion that you would have the capacity to do that in the first place.
I do see myself as a selfish person.
That is your interpretation that your own needs are not worthy of being met by somebody else, and so you must meet them for yourself. And it's not necessarily a question of selfishness, but it is a question of discomfort with the idea of someone else being able to meet them that is not you.
I think that is stemming from some mother stuff. My mom could never meet her own needs. And because she couldn't, she was trapped in a relationship with somebody who trash talked about her all the time and saw her as a burden.
I think it is time that you not look at her as a victim. Do you understand why I'm saying this?
Yeah. By seeing her as a victim, I'm so afraid of becoming the victim that I see her as.
She had more power than it appeared, and she made choices that were not necessarily apparent to you. And that was her path. And this is yours. How can you let go of the idea that her dynamic with her partner was wrong or something to be avoided? It is exactly as it was meant to be, and it is a path that she chose, both before this lifetime and during.
Yeah. I know all my mom ever wanted was to have someone to care for her. She never got that growing up either. And a lot of trauma around that led to her choosing to be with my dad so quickly, and then quickly learned, once she was kind of in some ways trapped in the relationship because they were married and pregnant with me, she started to realize that he's not going to care for her
And you
in the
must
ways
let go
that
of
she
the
needs.
responsibility that you feel for that.
Yes, I do feel responsible. What choices did she have and make that I didn't see and just chose to see her as a victim because I wasn't seeing it?
She chose every single day to love the person that she saw, not necessarily the person that was being displayed outwardly towards you. There was a dynamic to the relationship that you were not necessarily privy to, and that she chose to believe in despite her better awareness. And it was a choice that she made every single day. But it was a choice. You see this? She
Yeah.
chose this. And it was not coming from a place of her perceiving herself to be a victim. This is how you perceive it to be. She had deep love and affection for this man. And she felt very confirmed within that choice.
I just noticed the time is 1 hour, by the way. I wasn't paying attention until now.
Is there anything else that I can do to support you with today?
This is exactly what I needed. Thank you so much. I have a lot to contemplate, and I'm very appreciative of it.
You're welcome. Call upon me anytime you need me. You do not need an intermediary to talk to me. I am you and you are me, and you can call upon me anytime you desire to, and we can continue these conversations
Thank
in
you.
privacy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I feel the need to leave you with one last message for today,
Okay.
and that is not to take life too seriously. There is
Mm.
so much to discover and explore both within yourself and outside of you. And you did not come here necessarily to make any which thing out of it, but you came here simply to tap into the limitlessness that is truly available to you. And I would love for you to maintain that level of perspective and awareness moving forward, because I have a feeling that it will serve you greatly to do so.
Thank you.
You're welcome, my child.